much for coming on the show today then, Arianne. Could you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Hey, thanks for having me. So I am Arianne. I am head of education at Lash Base, as well as a Cardiff-based trainer. As well as that, I also have like my own events. I do obviously treatments, which is all for myself. So that might be known as Always Bonny to Beauty. And then I've got my own like social media kind of tips and tricks page, which is Arianne Angove. So there's lots of different branches.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So when did you start out in the beauty industry then?
So it's quite funny actually, because my first, like touchdown in beauty was about 10 years ago now, maybe just over, when I was about 18. I did a night course in makeup and beauty and manicure and pedicure. Okay. And then when you're in college, so that was like an evening one, and it was so much fun. So I was with like all the older people, and I still was able to work then, so it was just 2 nights a week. So that was like my first touch in it. And then from that, I did like when you like add on a spray tan course or whatever, because people come into the college to do stuff. And from there, the only thing I carried on with from that was some bits of makeup, but like very minimal, spray tanning and brows. And then, then it was about 5 years ago, so I just did family and friends for like random eyebrows, or spray tans was like my main thing. And then about 5 years ago, I got into lashes. So.
All right, okay, good. Yeah. Was it the beauty industry you always wanted to be in, or did you think that you were always doing something in beauty when you were younger?
So I never wanted to be in the beauty industry.
Really?
So bad. I always thought that it was just so bitchy, and obviously no one can doubt or lie that there are still cliques and it is still a little bit bitchy. But when I was in high school, I never wanted to be in that like college girl environment thing. That just freaked me out. But I've always done catering, so I've always seen myself in catering. But it was when I had my kids, and then I've realised that actually I could do something with my beauty that then led me into it all now. But it's nice because everything that I've done in my career, I've managed to have transferable skills to bring it into my beauty career. So but I think as a young girl, I've never really, it wasn't something that appealed to me.
That's so funny. I love hearing different backgrounds with that, if people always wanted to do it or not.
Yeah, no, it was literally never think. But then it made me realise I've always loved art. So all through high school I loved doing arty stuff, and I like that creative side of it. And I think that's why I enjoy doing lashes. I'm using my hands to do it.
Yeah.
So that side of it I think is what appeals to me.
So you have your own salon. Are you still doing treatments, and do you have a team?
So we're obviously closed here. So I'm in Wales, so it's still a bit strict over here. And I have a unit. It's really funny. So my business is set in a building which is all shared offices kind of thing. Right. So rather than a high street salon, I've got a closed off kind of unit, which is great. It works for me. I don't think I could deal with the whole walking off the street kind of clients. So I like that it's appointments only and bookings only system. And team-wise, I've got 2 girls that work with me or alongside me, but they are self-employed. So they're self-employed girls, yeah.
All right, okay, perfect. So then for anyone working themselves, what would your advice be if they wanted to kind of branch out and get more of a team? Or
yeah, I think a massive part of it for me, when I first started Always Bonny to Beauty, I imagined a massive salon, and and that was only 2.5 years ago now, maybe, a big salon, loads of teams or whatever. And then as that kind of grew and people went, I realised that just wasn't what I wanted. I did not want to manage other people. I wanted to be doing the stuff.
Right.
So I always think if anyone ever asks me for advice, I just think, what do you want from it? Do you want to run a business, or do you want to own a business, or do you want to be doing treatments? Because when you bring on a team, then you have to manage a team, and I think so many people don't realise that. Thankfully, I like managing a team, but I didn't want to be managing their clients and their treatments and all of that. So for me, having self-employed girls, they manage all of their bookings. I obviously help promote them now and then, or if I've got clients that I can't fit in, I pass on to them. However, yeah, I think you just have to weigh it all up. And anyone branching out, is so expensive to run a salon. Like, you need to think about your overheads, like all those different things, which loads of people don't think, like, they just think it's a walk in the park. And
Yeah.
you can be good at lashes, but not good at running a business. So.
Yeah, I'm finding that out even more speaking to everybody. You also have events that you run. Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Yeah, so I think where I've been in like catering and clubs, I've obviously seen events run and like worked closely with like sales teams over Christmas and stuff like that. So after being to a few events in the UK as well, I just thought there's nothing in Cardiff, like Wales side of things. And it just appealed to me so much that actually, as well, everything was so lash related, which is great. Obviously, they're lash events, but I think someone who suffers with mental health, which is like myself, the mental health and well-being side of it was really important for me to make sure that I get. And it's funny actually, because everything that's going on, like the whole diversity, like it's not just about like lashes, like life is not just about lashes. I know it's great to learn about it, but I think lash conferences need to have the other aspects to it as well. So that's when Events Boy Was Bunny Beauty was born. So I've run 2 sold out events so far. I managed to get one in just before lockdown, thankfully. But yeah, I'm looking to do more in the future. It's just I haven't given any dates or anything yet because there's so much going on. But again, it's one of those hard things, you know. I think it's going to be something that everyone's going to start doing, and then it gets boring again. So that's the only thing with the industry, is like one person does something, then everyone wants to do something, and it, you know, like in that sense. But I love them, and I think for me, the way that my stance is on events is that I want everyone to feel included. I like try and go above and beyond to do that when I host my events. And it's not just about lashes, it's about well-being, it's about diversity, it's about mental health, it's about growth, achieving. So yeah, celebration, you know.
Yeah, that sounds so good. Yeah, I'm definitely looking out for when the next one is, definitely.
I know, it's so hard. I just had like a few people have messaged, and to be honest, I've been really bad. I haven't posted anything on my events page. I've got millions of pictures that I could put up, but it's just so difficult because when do you do it? Like and it takes so much time, and I run them all by myself. I've got some, like a couple of the girls help me, my sister helps me, stuff like that, but it's finding the time it takes a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, like, I think just now you don't really want to put dates out there either, because we don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you're in Wales, but I'm in Scotland, so I think we're like more strict, I think, up here as well. So
yeah, I think Scotland and Wales are like on similar paths a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, like we don't know when beauty will be back at all. So
I know, it's horrible.
So do you think that social media is a big part in business today?
Yes, so I obviously love my social media bits.
Yes.
I've struggled the last week to post much because of everything that's going on. It's been really difficult. But yeah, I think it's really important. I think if you want to grow your business, it's a brilliant way of doing it. One thing that I always say to people, and it was actually Emma, one of the other lash-based trainers, that always like brought this into my mind, is that actually is many people's now shop front, you know. So it is important in that sense. Like, it's eye-catching. You walk down the high street and you look at someone's shop front. So now is you kind of the same on the internet. You look at people's profiles and you see their shop front as their profile, you know.
Yeah.
So I do think it's important. I also can't stress this enough, that if your business doesn't need it, you can run without it. Or, you know, you shouldn't just be jumping on social media for like the bandwagon of it. Like, unless it's for personal reasons, but for business reasons, like, have a purpose.
Yeah. I also think sometimes with the social media, sometimes people get too much into the following and like the likes and like it's focus on those numbers a bit too much. But if your books are still empty, then it's not going.
Honestly, definitely. It's like it, and that's what I mean by like have a purpose. If you're like starting up and you want to branch out, then great. If you are trying to get your name out there, great. If you're fully booked and you're making your money and you don't have time for social media, like don't worry, like you're making your money in that sense of it. So, and it's funny actually because one of my accounts, I've got like probably about 4 or 5 accounts, but my social, like my tips and tricks one, so just my Arianne Angove page, that page doesn't show my likes.
Ah, right, okay.
Or it doesn't show other people's either. So it's really funny because on my Lash Base Arianne Angove page it's just normal. But I don't know why. But yeah, my other one is like on that new version where it hides it all. So it's really, it is really weird. But yeah, likes and followers. It is nice to like see your following go up because you kind of know that you're doing something right to be gaining those followers, as long as they're the right followers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting one.
It's definitely interesting around social media. It's good for raising awareness with things that's going on as well, and that
Yeah, definitely
away from the beauty.
Yeah.
So you are the head trainer at Lash Base. So how did you achieve that role? What was your kind of position to get in there?
So with my head of education role, I have honestly like put my all into everything, and I love teaching. I absolutely love it, and I think like the main thing that came along for me to get that role is just putting myself out there. Like I literally like put myself on the line and said like, I want to help. Can I do anything? I'm ready. Let's do it. I want to grow Lash Base. Like I want to grow the training side of it. I want to help the girls. So like with everything that came along, and then I was so like extremely lucky and thankful and grateful to be offered that position as head of education. And yeah, I took it. I thought, how can you turn this down? So I kind of run with it. It goes like up and down. Sometimes it's a bit quiet and then it's really busy. So because it's kind of like when you get a project or something that you're working on, it's like full on, and then it goes like dies down. But I absolutely love like working with Lash Base and the team there. It's obviously family run, so it's quite nice because you've got that like side of it, and we're really close with all the girls. So it's it's fun.
Yeah, that sounds nice. And just speaking to you now, it makes me think you're definitely somebody that should be a trainer. Like you're all about like helping people. I love that.
Yeah, I'm literally like, I always want to be like everyone's agony aunt.
Yeah.
I ignore my own problems and I like helping people with this.
Whatever you focus on, whatever makes you happier.
Honestly, I think I should take my own advice sometimes, but
yeah, probably. Younger Arianne, what were you like at school and growing up, and did you ever think you would be like business minded to have a business and grow like this, or?
Do you know what? I did business GCSE and it was probably like one of the, I didn't do sixth form, I didn't do college. The only college I did was that nighttime course. Haven't done A-levels, haven't been to uni.
Really?
So my education stopped at GCSE. And then obviously I've got like the evening course, but I don't class that as college because it was like 2 hours a night every week. So it's not as if I was in college. So yeah, I think where I've always worked since the age of like 13, I was in cafes like working. I've always had that like growth and business mind and like watched how things are run and stuff like that. So yeah, I always thought I'd end up with a cafe or a bar somewhere.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed it. But I'm definitely, if you sat me down and gave me an exam to do, I would probably freak out.
Yeah.
Whereas if you like tell me to be creative and do something that way, I'd probably run with it, And that's another thing with like being an educator. It's important because everybody learns completely differently. So, and that's my like way of learning is like picture memory, like taking it all in. So yeah, business has always been like a fun thing because I'm not good with maths though, I'm not gonna lie. No. But I've got an accountant for that, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So to touch on this then, do you believe in a positive mindset? Is that something you practice and helps with success?
I think well-being is important. I struggle, and like currently I'm like struggling with my mental health, and I like to be open about it. I'm not one to kind of hide it. I hide it away a little bit, but I'm not one to completely hide it away, and I will be open about it. So yeah, I think like it's always hard because everyone will take things in or like acknowledge things in how they would acknowledge it. So
Yeah.
like with positive mindsets and stuff like that, you might be speaking to somebody, or like I might practice a positive mindset that suits me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like it's hard because I'm all about like take care of yourself, like well-being, da, 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 da. But it's what works for you. So sometimes like going to work, that's like my way of being in a positive mindset because it's like my distraction. Do you know what I mean? So like right now at the moment I'm struggling massively because the kids aren't in school, I'm like not in a set structure of working, we've got no return date, we're self-employed, da, 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 da. And then but this week I've had to reach out, I've had to contact my doctor, like, oh my god, my head's hurting, like what do I do?
Yeah.
So I think it's just understanding that everyone is on different paths, and sometimes just like being there and acknowledging that is really important. So if like meditating in the morning works for you, or like drinking a lot of water, or routine, or like having a week off every month, as self-employed, thankfully we can do that. But I've learned that like when I'm due on my period, I should take a few days off, like because as women, I don't think sometimes we like understand that our bodies are so hormonal as well.
Yeah.
And men don't always understand that.
You just, if you cry, that's you. You're like just emotional.
Yeah, like it's fine. Like, so I think positive mindset is great, and it can really work well for lots of people. And I always try and stay positive, and I always want to like think of the positive that's going to come out of things. But I also try and be really realistic.
Yeah, I think that's good what you touched on though, and I think that that's probably good for people listening that is just struggling a bit as well, because I think social media again, like sometimes you're seeing people and they're really maybe flourishing as they say through lockdown, but some people are just struggling, like not having the routine, like you say you've got young kids at home, like I don't have kids, I would be pulling my hair having kids to deal with as well, because I think when we're so used to working, you're like a working mum, you're not like, obviously stay-at-home mums, they get like, it's such a hard job, like I think people like want that more, don't you? Like
And like not only that, but this may come across different to everybody, but for me, I identify myself as like a mum as well as like a working person. Whereas like some people, like I had kids, yes, of course I'm responsible for them, but I enjoy going to work. That was part of me having children, was also being able to go back to work. And I think this has shown me that I'm definitely not a stay-at-home mum. But it's amazing that is what some people do, but some people embrace that, and that is what they want their lives to be. Whereas I think for loads of us who are working mums, having to become this new role of a stay-at-home mum is like, whoa, and that's really like made me think, whoa.
Definitely get back to work.
So, and it's and it's not like, and that's like something like mum guilt is real, and like people shouldn't feel bad about that. And it's like, it's a thing, it's so any mums listening, please don't feel bad if that is how you're feeling, because many of us are feeling like that. So
definitely, that is good. So how important do you think a mentor is, and do you believe in the importance of mentoring in the shop?
Do you know what, I love mentors and mentoring. So I don't have any in the industry. I like turn to a few people, but like my mum is like someone that I'd like to turn to a lot, because she's business minded, she like teaches business in uni, and I just find I can talk to her, whereas like I've got girls who come to me and who talk to me, and I've got like a couple of friends who are like people that I will turn to and speak to. and there's one or two girls in the industry who I'd like quite happily just let it all out to, you know. So I think having a support is really good, be that someone who can guide you through your business. I really like to kind of find someone from the start, or what I found that works with like some of the girls that turn to me is that I've known them from the start, so to help them and watch them grow, you know what they want to achieve and you know what's going to help them. So I think that's always like a great way to go about it. And like even some of my students who've like trained me with lash base, we've got like our lash base student support group, so that's kind of like their mentor space if they want to turn to it. But some of my students like always message me and always contact me, and you know. And I think, because a lot of us work alone, or if like we're not in salons and stuff like that, having that one person in the industry that you can turn to is kind of like your staff room, you know, like that place. So I think mentors are important. I think going like building your education and going on to like mentoring sessions and stuff like that is also important. And you'll come across so many different people, and I always say like what you might learn from someone else might be different to what I teach you, but ultimately as long as it's safe for you and safe for your client, like do your thing. Do you know what I mean? So like that is one thing, like if you are going to different mentors and stuff like that, understand and embrace that everybody teaches different or has different opinions. And the main thing is that it's safe for you, safe for your client, and then pick someone that can like help you grow and will bring out the best in you.
That's good. So where do you see yourself in 10 years time?
Oh gosh. Not stuck in COVID pandemic, hopefully. Not again.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god. At least my kids will be older then, thankfully. Do you know what? It's really like, it's so hard. I said this, someone asked me this the other day, what would you see yourself in 5 years? And I was like, do you know what? I don't even know. I said, who knows? Because 10 years is like a long time to think. But I guess for me, where do I see myself? Happy. Rather than like work-wise, I'd love to obviously grow with lash base. I'd love to grow my own stuff as well. But I think my main thing is like for me to be happy wherever I am.
Oh, I love that. So 2 last questions then to end the show. What's your best and most worthwhile investment you've made?
In what now? In business wise, or?
It can be anything. Everybody gives different answers.
Interesting. Oh, that's a tough one.
I know.
Trying to think now. What's the best? I really want to say my duvet, because I literally love having a cuddle on the sofa in a duvet or a soft blanket. You know what? Even when I was younger, like I've always wrapped myself in a blanket, so I love a blanket. But my best investment, just like self-education and continued learning, I think. Like be that when I've like been in other jobs and they've offered me like free training for something, or like be that, you know, always take a step. Like my best investment is like taking a new step. Because like if you can do that, if it doesn't work, then you can always go back to what you were doing. So like further education and learning, like that's my best investment.
That's good.
Knowledge.
So in the last 5 years then, what's a new habit or belief that's improved your life?
Oh my gosh, I would probably say, I want to say my daughter, she's like 3, so she's come in the 5 years, but she's also given me headache. So but like, and just growth, I think, like so much. So like I could be thankful for so much stuff. Am I allowed to say more than one thing?
Yeah, of course.
Like literally from like opportunities with lash base, like educating myself, my kids, just all sorts.
I guess you've really grew in the last 5 years. It would have been
so it's really hard for me to like pinpoint something down. But I'm just thankful for everything that's come to me in those times. Definitely.
So where can people find you then on social media? I know we've spoke with your accounts.
So yeah, my main 3 accounts are my Lash-based like at Lash-based_ Arianne Angove page. So that's pretty much all like lash related stuff. And then you've got just my at Arianne Angove page. So these are all Instagram pages. That page has got stuff like social media tips. It's a bit more personal, like kind of a lot more personal on that. I've got some new like products coming out, which are social media related. So that all goes onto that page. And then obviously I've got my events by Always Bunny to Beauty. And that is my events page. So yeah, so for those that like didn't know like what does Always Bunny and Beauty mean, before I was like Lash-based _ Arianne Angove, like my business is Always Bunny to Beauty, so that's the name of like that business. So yeah, who knows, maybe a rebrand of Events by Always Bunny to Beauty is due, but that's where you can find me. And then it's just www.arianneangove.com. So
yeah, good. Well, thanks so much for giving your time again and coming.
I've got a question for you as well.
Oh, okay.
What do you feel happy about in the last 5 years?
Happy about?
Or like, what was the same question about the 5 year one? Belief, yeah.
Do you know what's really changed is I have a gratitude app.
Okay.
And I feel like I've just focused more on just thinking about the good things that I have, like, and rather than thinking about things that I want as much. Like,
Yeah.
I want stuff, but I think that I've learned to focus on, you know, I've got like, well, because I'm just a full lash tech now, and I have my own room now, but I'm not so full, and I think there's so many people that's like wanting that, and I'm just like, right, be grateful for what you've got and go on. So the gratitude app's helped a lot.
Yeah, but you're doing amazing, like doing these interviews and like trying to like do some new stuff and things like that. So well done for like taking those steps, because it's difficult and it's nerve-wracking. So definitely pat yourself on the back for that one.
Oh, thank you. It's put in the spot there with a question back.
I love it. I'm making you learn, see, I like all that.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming on the show. It was so nice to speak to you.
No.